What is a winter's day? What is it to you? My memories vary quite a lot. The one thing that stands out is where I had a winter's day. Here in little old Adelaide, it's often being inside a warm house looking at grey clouds and falling rain through a window. I came from Trieste, a major port at the top of Italy, and as well as getting cold in winter, we get a wind called the Bora, coming down off the Julian Alps in December. As well as being freezing cold coming off those ice-covered mountains, it really blows. Wind temperatures get to minus 14 degrees centigrade before chill factor, and wind speeds are up to 200 kilometres per hour. In December, it roars across the quays, docks and shorefront, sending sea spray over everything nearby. Because of the cold, the seawater freezes immediately while still in the air and sculpts all of the seaside structures into wind-blown forms. Anything vertical gets ice-covered and amazing abstract sculptures are created. But it's not all creative beauty. Inside the city itself, a winter's day is something else. The footpaths have iron stanchions inserted in winter and ropes strung between them. The Bora comes roaring off the nearby Alps and hits the city suddenly. If I'd been accompanying my mother shopping when it struck, we'd immediately grab the ropes lining the way and hang on. Otherwise, we'd be skating on thin ice with no control at an ever-increasing speed. Stiff cheddar if you're on the street itself, crossing from one side to another when it comes. Anyway, eventually you should hit a wall, and that hopefully will stop you. Decades later, I spent a month of winter's day in Iowa, in the Midwest of the United States. The snow was quite deep, 2 or 3 feet, the air very icy, and sometimes we got blizzards of varying degrees. January, when I was there, the lows were around minus 10 centigrade, but at least the winds were just your regular teeth-binding ones, not ones that tried to tear teeth out of your head like in Trieste. I was there for a conference together with a group of other Aussies. One thing that struck me immediately was how we reacted to the conditions differently. Having come from a cold country, I had a good arrangement of warm, wind-proof cold weather clothing. A heavy duffel coat with a thick weave, much favoured by other Aussies, leaks warm air and lets cold air work its way in. Not good gear to wear. Especially if it then snows. Bits of snow get worked into the weave of the cloth, then melt, and you finish up with a soggy cold cover over your goosebumpy skin. Having winterproof clothing gave me one really enjoyable winter's day in Iowa. Once the wind was predicted to be a blizzard all day, so the conference participants were all told to stay in the rooms, have an easy day, just come out for meals. Well, that was fine for me. I had things to do, but after a few hours I got pretty bored. Looked outside my window and saw there was some sun and blue sky, lots of powder snow, just that damn wind. As I was on the ground floor, I had a good view of the ground cover around my building. Fairly close by was a copse of pine trees and lots of other trees. Lo and behold, I could see squirrels running up and down trees and foraging for fallen nuts. They didn't give a damn for the cold wind. This enticed me to go and join the outdoor party. I put on the winter garb I had and tightened the hood of my parka up so only my eyes were uncovered. Great protection. I went out and found that the biting wind was coming straight at me, as I had to walk into it to get amongst the trees. No worries, problem solved. By just walking backwards into the wind, my face totally protected from its sting. Plus, being able to lean back into it as I walked made it easier than walking forwards having to bend into it. This way I spent the afternoon admiring the natural habitat. Going backwards. The sun sparkled and glinted from snow, icicles hanging from branches, glass-like coating on pine needles. I kept the gusty wind to my back, and it gave me no discomfort at all. Everyone else was sheltering indoors, and I was Jack Frost, lord of all the sparkling whiteness surrounding me. There was such a feeling of silence, even considering the whistling wind. I had the entire landscape to myself. except for those darn squirrels. Not only were they totally immune to the cold in their seasonal fur coats, they even kept digging into the snow with their noses looking for nuts. How those tender snouts weren't affected by the icy freezing snow they were thrust into is beyond me. That made me more steadfast. If they could handle these conditions, so could I with all my accoutrements. I had an enjoyable and interesting afternoon. Everyone else kept telling me later how bored they had been staying indoors all day. What's a winter's day? It's what you will. It can be your own enclosed warm, cosy and safe cocoon where you can just let it all go. Or go out into it, meet life and be adventurous.